Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the evolution of an absolute titan of industry. We're going to look at how one single company managed to build millions of incredibly practical everyday cars, completely dominate the high-stakes world of motorsport, and craft some of the most legendary sports cars in history.
But hey, here's the question we really need to start with. How exactly did a company that started out making textile machinery, specifically looms, manage to completely conquer the global automotive world? I mean, it's got to be one of the most surprising and just fascinating origin stories in modern business. So let's dive right in and uncover some facts about this empire that you probably didn't know.
Section 1. From Looms to Cars, the Unexpected Origins of an Empire. We can actually trace this incredible pivot all the way back to the early 1900s. And back then, this wasn't a car company at all. Founder Sakichi Toyoda was actually famous for developing automatic textile looms. That was their entire gig. It literally took decades before his son, Kiichiro Toyoda, decided to take this massive, bold leap into the unknown and enter the automobile business in the 1930s. And that risky move, well, it eventually led to the official creation of the Toyota Motor Company in 1937. Now, you might be wondering, the founding family's name was actually Toyota with a D. So why the shift to Toyota with a T? Well, it was actually a highly strategic branding move. The change was made partly for the visual simplicity of the Japanese characters used to write the word Toyota. That simple, incredibly clean name eventually grew into one of the most recognizable automotive brands on the entire planet. Section 2, the manufacturing revolution, changing how the world builds. So, to really understand how they conquer the world, we have to look at the famous Toyota production system, which literally revolutionized modern manufacturing. One of its absolute core pillars is called jidoka. Now, in traditional manufacturing back then, stopping the assembly line was basically a cardinal sin that cost massive amounts of money. But Toyota, they flipped this completely on its head. Jidoka emphasizes detecting problems early, and it empowers every single worker on the floor to halt the line to prevent errors. When you combine that with their just-in-time production concept, this hyper-focus on fixing things immediately is exactly what ensured their legendary build quality. And that brings us to a second, equally crucial concept, Kaizen. This simply translates to continuous improvement. Think of it this way. Instead of trying to achieve absolute perfection in one giant impossible leap, Kaizen focuses on tiny, daily incremental tweaks, making things just a little bit better every day. This specific mindset became so deeply embedded in Toyota's culture. By making these constant small improvements over time, they're able to endlessly refine their vehicles year after year. Section 3. Building Automotive Legends, Vehicles that Changed the World. It was this exact manufacturing philosophy that gave birth to incredibly durable icons like the wildly popular Camry and the practically indestructible Hilux. And, those philosophies manifest in very different ways across their legendary lineup. Let's look at 4 distinct vehicles that really represent the pillars of the brand's global dominance. First up, you have the Corolla, which brought practicality and affordability to the masses and became a true global phenomenon. Then there's the Land Cruiser, just an absolute beast synonymous with extreme durability. You'll see these everywhere from punishing deserts to the most remote mountain roads on Earth. Then, in 1997, Toyota shifted gears toward an eco-conscious future, proving with the Prius that mainstream hybrid tech and incredible fuel efficiency could be a massive selling point. And finally, a lot of people actually don't realize that in 1989, Toyota launched Lexus internationally as a dedicated premium brand, specifically designed to prove they could beat established European luxury manufacturers at their own game. Now, let's talk about 1966. This is a truly monumental year in automotive history. Why? Because it's the year the world first met the Toyota Corolla. Since that debut, tens of millions of Corollas have been sold globally. To put that into perspective, that is an absolutely staggering amount of vehicles on the road. It's this perfect alchemy of practicality, efficiency, and just bulletproof reliability that sparked a legacy, making it one of the most successful nameplates in the entire history of the automobile. Section 4. Motorsport and Pure Performance, Pushing the Limits of Engineering. But hey, Toyota isn't just about practical family cars or luxury SUVs. No way. They have a serious adrenaline-fueled motorsport legacy. They've conquered the World Rally Championship, NASCAR, and even Formula One. And that performance pedigree, it bleeds straight into their road cars. Take the legendary 4th-generation Supra, known as the A80. It became one of the most famous Japanese performance cars in history. And it wasn't just its incredible turbocharged engine and massive tuning potential, it became a genuine pop culture icon, cementing its legendary status through countless movies and video games.
Now, bringing the Supra into the modern era required a completely unique approach, specifically a major collaboration with BMW. But while the modern GR Supra shares its foundational engineering architecture with the BMW Z4, Toyota engineers were absolutely ruthless in protecting the car's soul. They retained full control over their own distinct design, the specific engine tuning, and that unique, aggressive driving character that fans absolutely demand from a Supra. 24. That is the number of hours in the grueling Le Mans endurance race. Winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans was a massive, massive motorsport milestone for Toyota. And this victory was especially significant because endurance racing is widely considered the absolute toughest test for automotive technology. It was the ultimate proving ground to test their extreme reliability under literally the harshest conditions imaginable.
And all of that extreme racing heritage doesn't just stay on the track. It flows directly into the GR, or Gazoo Racing Performance family, with vehicles like the GR Supra, the rally-bred GR Yaris, and the wildly fun turbocharged GR Corolla. Toyota is loudly proving that they aren't solely focused on reliable A-to-B transportation. These cars exist to bring extreme, motorsport-inspired engineering and pure, unadulterated performance directly into the hands of everyday drivers.
Section 5. The future of Toyota, evolving for a new era.
So what's next for them as the entire automotive industry rapidly transitions? Well, Toyota is actually taking a pretty unique approach. They aren't betting the farm on just one single technology. Instead, they're actively pursuing what they call a multi-path future. They're developing and selling a really diverse mix of hybrid, plug-in hybrid, battery electric, and even hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. They're doing this to offer flexible solutions that meet widely different customer needs and regional infrastructure requirements all around the globe. Because, infrastructure and driving habits vary wildly depending on where you live.
And as they move into this new era, they carry one of the most recognizable emblems in the world. And it's an emblem with a fantastic hidden meaning. Those overlapping ovals, they aren't just random pleasing shapes. They actually represent the deep relationship and trust between the company and its customers. But here is the real mind-blowing part. Those combined shapes can be visually interpreted to form every single letter of the word Toyota. I mean, it's just brilliant branding wrapped around a deep customer connection.
So when we look back, Toyota's immense success isn't some fluke, and it isn't based on just one legendary vehicle. It's a complex, perfectly executed formula. It is that relentless manufacturing efficiency driven by Kaizen. It's the extreme reliability of everyday models, combined with massive global production scale. It's their pioneering push into hybrid technology, their absolute dominance in motorsport, and of course their ability to deliver top-tier performance cars right alongside world-class luxury through Lexus. They've essentially built an empire by engineering vehicles for almost every type of driver on Earth. Toyota's story is so much bigger than simply making cars. It's a constant, fascinating evolution from textile machinery to completely revolutionizing how the world manufactures. So I want to leave you with a question to think about. With such a massive and diverse lineup across their long history, which Toyota is your absolute favorite? Are you a fan of the tuning potential of the Supra, the unstoppable nature of the Land Cruiser, the motorsport edge of the GR Corolla, the efficiency of the Prius, or maybe something else entirely? Think about what makes your choice so legendary. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer as we deep dive into the fascinating evolution of Toyota.